Hello friends, Brandy here with Falcon Healing Arts. I hope you're doing really well. Today's video is going to be more of a personal share, but with a bigger message I think you will all appreciate. And it's about how to recognize when you have veered off path and how to know how to get back on it. So what are the things to look for? How does it feel when you've gone off path? And how do you know you're doing the right things to put you back on? So this week has been really off from the very beginning. And it left me with the sensation of the sands shifting beneath my feet, maybe even the rug being pulled out, just this unsettling feeling of, okay, things are not happening as I expected. And so the sign for me that I was off was that I was bumping up against my own rigidity, that I was having a hard time adapting to change. And when I did change, I was feeling guilty about it. So this rigidity is not in my nature. So that was also another clue. I was not acting how I usually do. And so it's great to have this insight, to be in your own energy most of the time. So when you have veered off path, it may take you a while to realize it, but you will eventually recognize it. And I'll be talking about human design in a bit too, because if you are aware of your human design and that system, it is more of a framework that you can be mindful of, or that you can return to when you are feeling like that, like, oh my God, what is happening? I'm not where I expected I would be. I feel unsettled. It is a way to get you back. So again, it was this rigidity, like I felt I was forcing things too much and feeling bad about it. That was the big sign. And so there's a few things I want to share that helped me realize this. And really, it was this morning. Today is Friday, my day off. I was not planning on doing this video, and I just woke up with this inspiration and this great need to tell you this. So I know there are many of you who will be needing this message too. So starting back on Monday, I had put things out into the world, some content that wasn't being received the way I thought it was. There were some changes in my schedule. I actually needed to reschedule a lot of things this week. So it was like, whoa, what's happening? And getting a little worried about that. Like, what does this mean? Does it mean something is wrong? It was also, so here's some more concrete examples. So Monday was the day after Father's Day. I'm always trying to eat healthy, and you know that I'm always sharing wisdom from traditional Chinese medicine. That is typically what I always fall back on, but I always am open to a more modern approach about nutrition. I have health issues I always need to be mindful of. So I'm trying to allow in that as well. So this ancient wisdom, but also this modern approach to health and nutrition, which is so needed in our culture because we cannot rely on what is taught to us from the Western medicine perspective, which is not nutrition or even wellness based. So trying to figure out what is best for me. I have been listening to some wisdom from others about just eating more light in general, starting the mornings off that way. So I've been eating a lot of smoothies and oatmeal, of course, balanced with some protein and fat, but veering off from what I was doing before, which was more protein based. Thinking that just having a more high fiber diet in the beginning will help support my liver, support cleansing, and build my health that way. But I have not been very excited about breakfast. It has not translated into my other meals that well too. So there was a sensation of being like, oh, what am I gonna eat? And then I was like, oh, there's that leftover ribeye steak from Father's Day dinner we had the night before, and I was obsessed with it. I went downstairs and to the refrigerator, and I'm like, I have to have some of this at least with my lighter breakfast. And it turned out to be just a steak breakfast. So, and it tasted so good. And as I was eating it, I'm like, oh my God, this is what I need so badly. And I did not feel bad about it. So it was like I was listening to this inner cue that that was just what I needed. So even though I was confused and frustrated before, after I ate this meal, a very simple meal, non-complicated, I felt good. And then later on, I looked at some other things that just like fell into my lap about diet. And so I'm on this whole other approach that I've been doing since Monday. Still not ready to talk about it yet. I want more experience to see how it's working for my body. And of course, I would never share it with you with like, you need to do this. I mean, it is what's working for me from this inner guidance that it feels right. So anyway, all of my meals have been fabulous, and it has been helping me sleep so much better. I have more energy for my workouts as well. So I'm getting the exercise, I'm getting the nutrition, and I'm sleeping well. I am still going to bed pretty late. So another thing I've been dealing with all week is the guilt of needing to sleep in, about things being off that way and needing more support by just being in bed longer. And where is that coming from? It's not from me. When I have been allowing myself to sleep in, again, it feels good. It's honoring a need. It feels loving. It's when later I think back like, oh, I could have spent my time differently, or what if someone knew I was doing this a lot? It may seem lazy. So it's more like reflecting on what I did from a different perspective, from someone on the outside, that is making it feel off. So, so it's paying too much attention to what other people are thinking too, is what I was noticing this week. Even though I wasn't sharing that information, nobody knew it until now. And I'm not feeling bad telling you about it. So sleep, that was the other thing, and my routine that I do want to change. I do want to be going to bed earlier, but I still need a huge chunk of sleep. If I need to sleep in and I have the time, I want to allow that. I am catching up to a degree. The third thing is that I was planning on doing a YouTube video for you all on Wednesday at my office. I've been trying to create all my content during work hours. And I sat down, I had an idea. I thought it was a great idea, but I didn't have a lot of motivation. I wasn't really excited about doing it. And I sat there scripting out, typing out this video for over an hour, and it was just too huge. I could not condense it down. I didn't feel that it was going to be appealing for you to hear. And then I just stopped. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I fighting against this inner wisdom just to put content out, just to stick to my schedule? But again, I had this shift in the beginning of the week where I was already like, whoa, okay, you're getting a sign that you need to be letting things go. So I was able to stop it. I was able to shift. I still had this desire inside to do a video, but I didn't want to just create something. I wanted to create something good. So I gave myself the space to concentrate on other things. And I wasn't going to do a video for you until I woke up this morning after sleeping in, after feeling wonderful and just reflecting on all these things that happened this week about how there was this huge lesson, how I was breaking my own rules and not worrying about what other people thought. And now I am in this very sweet space and with this big message to share with you. So tying this back to human design, because again, much of what I experienced this week was just listening to the inner wisdom. So, that is just coming from years of doing this work about really appreciating mindfulness, about seeking inner guidance, spiritual guidance. I'm really used to that. So I was leaning more into prayer this week, asking for support. And when that came in, I was like, okay, I'm listening. I hear you. But if you don't have that, a good way to get back on track, to know that you're on the right path, is to know what your human design is. So I am a human design pure generator, and my strategy in life is to seek satisfaction. And I know and also to respond to the world. So to respond to stimuli, I respond in a way that is truly satisfying. And when I feel that, I know it's right. So I was not thinking in this human design way in the beginning of the week. Or much quicker, I would have realized that I was actually experiencing my not self, which is frustration. That is that feeling of fighting against yourself. So human design does allow you to break your own rules if you have been living in a more rigid way, in a way that is dictated by other people, other systems, other ways we've been conditioned. So again, that was highlighted to me here at the end of the week. But had I not known how to get back, had I not had all these practices, we may be here like at a month. It took me a month to realize all of this. And some of you may be experiencing the same thing and just feeling like you are very frustrated in life and have no idea if what you're doing is the right thing and how to get back on track. So let me know, friends, what this is bringing up for you, if you are resonating with this message at all. And of course, I would love to hear your shares in the comments below, but also let me know if you are needing more support. I do human design readings, very basic readings with just the necessary information for you to live a joyful life. And of course, if you want to go deeper, if you want to go more personal, we can use that information for coaching. We can use that for spiritual guidance too, if that's what you are seeking, to introduce you to your spiritual support team. So I believe that is all I had for you today, friends. Let me know if this helps you reset, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend ahead. I'm so glad we were still able to connect this week, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Take care.